Hey guys, what's up? So we're gonna do this kind of reaction video like we did in the previous one, this time again CNBC. And the title of this, it's quite a recent video from them, is What Makes Tesla Different from Other Auto Companies? So what's important, and I want you to remember, is just remember this title, because we're gonna discuss the answer to this question at the end and discuss the answer they gave. So let's get started, and like I said, I'll just stop throughout the video just to give my comments where I think it's relevant.
If someone gave you just the financials, the income statement, balance sheet of a company, and didn't tell you what it did or what it was, and you were to look at, profitability, earnings per share, or loss, whatever you're looking at, even with, know that there are some subsidies and some special items, what would this be worth, would you think, Tesla, if you didn't know it was going to save the world from...
Let me stop there. If you didn't know it was going to save the world, what would the company really be valued at? Why? How can you ask that? Oh, if you don't look, at the fact, of Elon's, record on tech, or all his best engineers in the world, or the way the customers perceive the vehicle, or the possibilities of future products, and you didn't look at any of that. You just looked at what they're doing right now, especially in a pandemic year. What do you think it would be?
Carbon dioxide. What would it be worth?
Yeah, I think at that point it gets valued like a traditional automobile company.
And what would that be? A tenth?
I'd say it would be a tenth to, maybe at best in terms of where the stock would be today.
I don't know if they've realized, but they really just shitted on traditional automakers. Oh, if Tesla didn't have all this exciting stuff around them or whatever, then it would just be a normal car company. So then why are you even arguing that normal car companies have a chance when you're just saying that if Tesla was a normal car company, they would be worth 10 times less? What's the logic?
And I think that continues to be really the battle between bulls and bears, because I don't view this as a traditional auto company. It's a disruptive technology company on the EV front, and I think that's why. If you just looked at the numbers...
Wow. So this is probably the only thing I won't be bashing in this video. He actually has brains. He understands that this is not a normal car manufacturer company. We're on a good start.
You would not get to a valuation where it is today.
So, Joanne, that's where he started to go into what I'm looking for from you. But so the difference between where it would be valued and where it is valued is due to a lot of things. Obviously, the cult of Elon Musk. But can you just...
It's due to a lot of things. Obviously, the cult of Elon Musk. No, I mean, yeah, it depends which way you want to argue it. I'm sure the fact that he has a following is making a difference. But that's not the main reason why this is successful. If you don't know, probably less than... I think Tesla has the largest amount of retail holders, and it's still below 20% of the float. So it's not like, it's 80% owned by the public, and because the public loves Elon Musk, oh, the stock is going up. It makes no sense. Most are owned still by institutions, so that just made no sense what he said there.
Just opine on that and all the things that goes into that? I know you're a deep thinker.
Sure. Well, first of all, just to pull the camera back for a moment, I actually think this is a bigger story than Elon Musk and bigger than Tesla, in that what we're really looking at is this confirmation, this declaration, recognition that electric vehicles are our future, and that they're finally going mainstream. And
there we go. They're finally going mainstream. Let's not talk about Elon or Tesla, but let's talk about the fact that they're finally going mainstream. Miss Deep Thinker, I wonder why they're going mainstream, and I wonder who popularized them. Could it be Elon and Tesla? No, I think you're right. Let's forget about that, and let's focus about the fact that now they're popular.
See it with every other automaker that is rushing in to try and compete with Tesla. You just mentioned that Hummer from GM, the electric battery-powered Hummer. VW, you guys have reported on this, $86 billion they're putting in the next 5 years into developing electric vehicles. So, this is, you reference, I actually think this charismatic, so much of this has to do with the charisma of Elon Musk. You actually mentioned earlier, Joe, Henry Ford.
This has nothing to do with Elon, but it's important to note the charisma of Elon. Oh my God. Anyway, one thing I do want to point is she mentioned Volkswagen, and I think VW will be one of the few legacy automakers that might survive this extinction. So at least they mentioned, at least they measured Volkswagen. GM, I just released a video on that. Go check that out about their interview with the president. Yeah, GM is definitely not part of this. Forget she said that. It was a mistake.
People are trying to get the next Henry Ford. I actually think a lot about Steve Jobs. I've been around long enough to remember when he left Apple and then came back, and a lot of people were scratching their heads about Apple, but the customers who bought those products were just rabid. It was a cult. They loved the charisma of the guy.
While I'm sure that they loved Steve Jobs, I'm pretty sure they loved more the products, because I'm pretty sure if Steve Jobs was selling them thin air, they wouldn't pay $1,000 from it just because it's from Steve Jobs. The only reason they liked him is because the outcome, the product, was due to him, and that's the same with Tesla here. It's not necessarily about Musk or anything. People would hate Musk if he wasn't able to do anything, but just focusing on Tesla, they love the products that he comes up with, right? And the Tesla team do. So that's important to reiterate. What she's talking about, again, just makes no sense, and it's just vague news stuff just for views, basically.
I do think that is also the big unknown with Tesla, because, on the one hand, you've got this charismatic guy with these massive following, but on the other hand, you have to be able to separate the company from the founder and the kind of sometimes crazy things he says. I mean, he just said a couple of weeks ago that they're going to be building 20 million cars a year within.
So the crazy things he said. The first crazy thing he said is that they could build 20 million cars a year. Well, first of all, I follow Elon on Twitter, so I'm pretty sure I know that tweet, and I'm actually sure he didn't say that we're going to produce 20 million. He said something along the lines of, if everything goes perfect, we could reach that. Great, stop there. Even if he would have said we're going to reach 20 million, who are you to call it crazy? You don't work in a factory, you don't understand production ramps. I don't understand production ramps. Who are you to tell the owner of one of the most innovative companies in the world that, oh, your targets are crazy? Especially when, shouldn't have this been like 5 years ago? This kind of talking point? Why is she still mentioning these talking points? You're the crazy one here, I'm sorry to say, because you or I don't really understand this production ramp, to be honest. So, yeah, let's continue.
The decade. Will they? I mean, that's like twice as big almost as their largest competitor right now. And he also said
twice as big as their largest competitor. So I know she's referring to Toyota and, whatever, who's the largest competitor, Volkswagen or whatever. First of all, they're not really direct competition. Tesla is not selling ICE cars. Tesla does not care if, Toyota sells 10, 20, or 30 million ICE cars, because that's not the market they're in. And while, of course, those markets are eating into each other in a sense, they're not direct competition. I mean, Toyota is producing less than 10% of what Tesla is producing in terms of electric cars, specifically BEVs. And they're still, on hydrogen and stuff. So what you can't just, it's not really a competitor. They're a potential competitor in the future, or a current minor competitor, but you can't say, oh, but these big companies are producing 10 million, so they're crazy, because they're producing 10 million of something completely different. So, again, weird talking point. I have no idea what it has to do with much.
In March, he said that COVID would be down to 0 cases in April, and of course, he was just diagnosed with COVID over the week.
Oh my God, yes, here we go. Elon was wrong about the prediction of COVID. Oh my God, how dare he? How dare he question and have his own opinion? Oh, and now he has COVID. Ah, ha, 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 ha. The funny irony, isn't it? Again, I don't know what this has to do with Tesla, or the question of what makes Tesla different from other auto companies. Remember, that's the title. So, Elon talking about COVID is what makes this different? And again, I don't know. This has nothing to do with it, and it's just cherry picking Elon stuff. I can find crazier tweets than that. So I don't know. It's just media. It's just selling that. It's saying that Elon, he misspoke about COVID. It just sells well in the media, especially for, I guess, the older population. Related to Tesla, this has absolutely no impact whatsoever.
Again. So that would be kind of the question of separating the company from the hype and the founder, and how does it do absent that founder?
Yeah.
How does it do absent that founder? Well, that is a relevant question, and I think that's a whole different video. What would Tesla do without Elon? What does this have to do with the point of this interview? What makes Tesla different? You know, I mean, it's just such clickbait and no answer whatsoever. I'm 100% sure I gave you 10 times more information in my overview than what they did in the actual interview. So it's just, these are all the Tesla news and they really piss me off, which is why I'm doing these videos to pretty much correct these people and go over what is really fact and what they're just, trying to dramatize. And then, separating the company from the hype. No, the company is the hype. There's no separating. There's no reason to look at just fundamentals. It's like looking at Apple back, 10, 20 years ago and being like, yeah, but if you look at Apple's balance sheet, it doesn't make any sense while they're, working on the iPhone prototypes. You can't just, look in the box, because if you want to do that, then you would not invest in any company that's, not an established company. And especially in the age of the internet, that's probably the stupidest mistake you could make. So we'll leave this one here. If you guys enjoying these videos, I'll do more. Just leave a comment, like, subscribe, all of that things, and we'll do more of these videos if you're enjoying them, and then we'll also do more technical analysis video. Check that out if you want my prediction for 2023. Check out in the channel. It's my first video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.